Believe it or not, there are some countries out there without coronavirus, and they can teach us a lot about how to plan vaccination programs that are both efficient and effective. So on today's episode of the Rooster Report, we're going to be telling you everything you need to know about countries without COVID-19. But before we do, don't forget to like, subscribe, and smash that notifications button as it really helps the channel grow. Now, all of the COVID-19 free countries can essentially be split into two groups, the vaccinated countries and the unvaccinated countries. The unvaccinated countries are those that don't have any cases of COVID-19 because, well, no one with the virus has entered their country. As of March 1st of 2021, there are 7 countries that claim that there are no COVID-19 cases within their borders. They can be split into two groups. The first group are the authoritarian countries of Turkmenistan and North Korea. Both are controlled by dictators, and both claim to be COVID-free. But in reality, this probably isn't true. In Turkmenistan, the government has actively spouted propaganda that COVID-19 simply isn't being spread, despite the fact that Turkmenistan has not had any major quarantines. In fact, several foreign diplomats have gotten sick, shown almost all the COVID symptoms, and then had Turkmen doctors refuse to treat them for COVID-19. Therefore, Turkmenistan's claims are almost certainly false. On the other hand, North Korea, while arguably just as untrustworthy, is more likely to be telling the truth. This is because North Korea was one of the first countries in the world to close its borders, as it officially did so on January 23rd of 2020. From there, they had severe crackdowns on illegal smuggling across its borders, and implemented a strict and brutal quarantine. They even went so far as to almost end all trade with the rest of the world, which is reflective by the fact that trade with China, which is their largest economic partner, fell by 76% in 2020. As such, while there are probably some cases in North Korea, the numbers are likely to be relatively low. The second group of countries consist of Kiribati, Tonga, Palau, Tuvalu, and Nauru. These are all island nations that can be found across the South Pacific, and are all so tiny and isolated that they were able to completely close off quite easily. Therefore, while they have been hit hard by the drop in tourism revenue, they have managed to avoid having any cases of COVID-19. Yet, while all of these countries have remained COVID-free without the use of vaccines, there are some places that may soon have vaccination levels close to 100%. These countries are the UAE and Israel. In the case of the UAE, they took a varied approach. What we mean by this is that rather than just order in vaccines from Pfizer, Moderna, and AstraZeneca, and then just sit down and wait, they took the proactive step of sourcing some vaccines from China. The Chinese vaccine they chose to go with was from Sinopharm, which achieved an 86% efficacy rate in studies conducted within the UAE. Now, that's not to say that this wasn't controversial. After all, many have expressed doubts about non-Western vaccines. However, by agreeing to hold Stage 3 trials inside of the UAE to ensure that the Sinopharm vaccine was effective, they not only received high-quality, localized data, but were prioritized by Sinopharm. To top this off, as of February 13th of 2021, they had a total of 100 vaccination centers despite being a very small country. This is especially impressive when you consider that the country of Canada, which is both larger and wealthier, had only 23. Therefore, it is as a result of this innovative approach that, as of March 6th of 2021, more than 63% of their population has received at least one dose. And as of now, everyone over the age of 40 is able to get vaccinated whether they are a citizen or a foreign resident, with some as young as 16 even having access to it. Thus, the country is well on its way to being COVID-free. However, Israel has taken a much different approach. That's because rather than seek out various types of vaccines to ensure a large vaccination rate, they were selected by Pfizer to be first in line to get enough vaccines to inoculate their entire population. While the reasons behind this move have spread a slew of conspiracy theories across the internet, one of the main contributing factors was Israel's incredible healthcare system. You see, unlike many other countries, Israel not only has free public healthcare, but also has a digitized system that makes it easy to keep track of and communicate with patients. This system works by enrolling Israelis into one of 4 health maintenance organizations, which allows for easy planning and distribution. Israel also has a small landmass and a small population of just 9.1 million, making it relatively easy to roll out a vaccination program. Therefore, as of March 6th of 2021, a grand total of 99.88% of their population has received at least one dose. So, what lessons can the UAE and Israel give to the rest of the world? Well, the first is that for countries that are able to, it is in their best interest to try to source vaccines from around the world. And while the political consequences would be massive if, say, China were to accept American vaccines or the United States were to accept Russian vaccines, there are several non-aligned countries that could probably purchase from multiple companies without encountering any serious political consequences. On the other hand, countries should also try to make themselves an attractive place for vaccine investment. What we mean by this is that while any country can make a vaccine order, they are more likely to be prioritized if a vaccine company thinks that they will distribute the vaccines quickly. For example, in the case of Israel, once they officially vaccinate everyone with the Pfizer vaccine, they will make Pfizer look extremely good. Therefore, if a country builds a lot of vaccine centers and has a good way to communicate with their citizens, they will likely be prioritized by vaccine makers that are looking for good PR. That's all we have for you today, everyone, and thank you all for watching. Let us know in the comments down below how your country is doing with the vaccine rollout. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and smash that notifications button so that you never miss out on the latest news story. Thank you for watching the Rooster Report, and we hope to see you again soon. Bye for now.